Hello, welcome to week 3. We've gotten through a lot of stuff in the first 2 weeks, and we're just going to keep going. There's lots of stuff to do in this class. So this week, we're going to dig in a little bit deeper into social media, and we're going to look at how to build our network. Now, I can promise you, you're probably already really familiar with networks because you're already part of lots of them. You are in a family group, probably. You probably have work networks, school networks, sports team networks, church networks. There's all kinds of different like hobby networks. We know how to do that with people, right? When you join a network. But when we're on social media, the rules feel like they're a little bit different, but they're not, but it's really a similar dynamic. And it can be really interesting and really fulfilling and really a good way to connect with people who have like-minded interests or to do job networking. There's all kinds of good reasons. And so, like, if you were in a room all by yourself, it wouldn't be very interesting. Like, it might be interesting, okay, if you're talking to yourself, I guess. But the real value of a network is when you invite people in who are interesting themselves, who post interesting things, share interesting things, discuss cool ideas. That's what makes it really cool. And so if you had a room full of, I don't know, 15 people, and they were all people that you invited in, and you guys started talking about things that were, I don't know, maybe you're talking about soccer, maybe you're talking about math, maybe you're talking about dogs, whatever it is, okay, then it becomes interesting. So in the same way, your social networks build like that also. So that's what we're going to start this week. Now, some of you have LinkedIn accounts and you've had them for a while, and some of you, this is brand new. Just start searching. And if you don't know how to do something, do a Google search. First of all, look to see the resources I post, because that might answer your question. But then do a Google search. How do I find IBM on LinkedIn? How do I find Microsoft on LinkedIn? Like, whatever it is. Okay. How do I add organizations to my LinkedIn? Whatever it is, just do a Google search. I can promise it'll come up. And if you absolutely have done that and you can't find anything, then post to the help desk in Discord. That's a really quick way because there's lots of other people who have done this already that might be able to answer that for you. And if they can't answer it, I might jump on and answer it. But be your own advocate and be an active learner in trying to find this stuff out. So that's part of what we're going to do this week is build your network. Another thing I'm going to have you do is watch a couple of TED Talks. And I love TED Talks. There's all kinds of interesting ones. I'm giving you a link that goes to a search page on the TED site about social media videos. There's all kinds of topics. You get to pick any two that you want as long as they're fairly recent, like within the last couple of years. I think I put 2018, 2019. So as long as they're newer than that. And pick one that is for social media and one that's kind of some of the cons of social media. And you're going to look at both of those. You're going to watch both of those and just take some notes. Anyhow, read the assignment. I give you some ideas there, but that's what your discussion post is this week, is you're going to share what you found out about the pros and cons of social media based on the videos you watch. And you'll link to the videos so other people can watch those ones if they didn't already watch them. So that'll be kind of interesting and fun to read. And that discussion will be on Discord. I'll show you where that is in just a few minutes. I'll give you the tour. Another thing we're going to do this week, and I'm super excited because it's Zoom week. It's our first Zoom week. Now, why do we do Zoom? Why do we do Zoom? It's an online class. Why do we do Zoom? Because Zoom is a really good way to connect in small groups. So I'm doing a bunch of sessions this week, but you just have to do one. And it doesn't matter. Every session is the same, but every session is different because there's different people, so different things will come up. But overall, the guidelines are the same, and I'll post a set of slides that go with what we're going to do. So let me give you the cheat sheet, because pinned to the Zoom chat channel is a bunch of stuff. And you should read that over because it'll help you get the most out of Zoom. It'll help you interact better. It'll help us all enjoy being together if you read through those things. But let me give you the short list. All right. There's like 4 things. I posted it in my announcement in Discord for the week. The first thing is cameras on. And there's so many good reasons for that. It helps you stay focused because it's harder to multitask when your camera's on, right? It's harder to kick back and game on your other monitor. It's harder to like get up and go make lunch. It's harder to do things. And so it helps you stay focused, but it also helps us stay focused on the other side. And it makes it feel like there's real people out there, which makes it a lot more interesting. If you read through the student advice from last semester, you'll see a lot of students talk about Zoom and how it was their favorite part. And I can tell you at the end of the semester, when I asked for feedback, probably at least 80% of the students say they wished we had more Zoom sessions. But those are the ones that jumped in and engaged and participated. So this is not a spectator sport. There's no point in sitting in the back of the virtual room and not doing anything. If you're going to do that, don't come, because we do lots of stuff in breakouts, and it's no fun to be in a breakout room if one of the people or two of the people don't even respond. So we keep the groups small. We'll do some stuff so people get to know each other, and then you start feeling comfortable. People tend to pick one time and stick with it for the whole semester, but you don't have to. Like, you can, if your schedule changes, you just pick another session. So that's the first thing. Keep your cameras on, and we will talk about that in Zoom a lot more. The second thing is, if you can, use headphones. Okay, now these are not working quite right at the moment, so I got to troubleshoot that, which is why I don't have them on. But a couple of things happen. If you use headphones, again, it helps you focus in because you're kind of blocking some of the noise. It helps us focus in because your audio is a little better. Sometimes there's weird feedback that comes in, if you can, if that happens. And so headphones just make it a good experience. And I don't have them right here, I don't think. Anyhow, I've got some headphones I just use with my phone, like Bluetooth ones I just use with my phone. And those work great too, because you can talk into them, you can hear stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to go find them so I can use them this week. So do that. Third thing is, use a laptop if at all possible. We do very active sessions. You're going to be searching for things. You're going to be looking stuff up. I mean, you're going to have slides. I mean, it's very useful to be able to connect on a laptop on the desktop app. And you can do it in a web browser. It's just not as easy. You can do it on mobile, but then you totally can't like go search for stuff. You can do it. There's lots of ways to do it, but if you can do it on your desktop, on your laptop or desktop, that's the best way to connect, because it gives you the most flexibility to participate. Now, I will say that sometimes I've had people use their phones, like if their computer doesn't have a camera, they'll use their phone as the camera. They'll put Zoom on their phone, they'll connect in with Zoom on their phone, they'll connect in with Zoom on their computer, and then they'll just sort of, you can't see what I'm doing, right? They'll sort of set their phone right here in the front and let that be the camera, and then let their computer, do the rest of it, where they can do everything else. So there's lots of options. There's lots of ways to participate. If you are running into technical issues, message me, because I got all kinds of ideas. Now, the last thing, and this is the most important thing when you're in Zoom, be curious, be engaged, be respectful. Do we need more rules than that? Be curious, be engaged, be respectful. If you're in a college class, I expect you to act like an adult and be nice to the people in your group and respect the people in your group. And one of the best things about Zoom is that you get to talk to people who aren't you, who are different and who have different ideas and different experiences. And everybody brings that to the table. And so I have a high expectation there. And if there's ever any problem, you definitely back channel me, send me a message on Discord, or jump back into the main Zoom room, or whatever it takes. You let me know and I will take care of the problem. We almost never have any problems. Like, I have been doing Zoom with students for, I don't even know how long, for a really long time. I think in all that time, there's only been like one or two people that I've had to sort of say, you don't get to Zoom with us anymore. Anyhow, so I don't expect it to be a problem. I just wanted to let you know that that's a possibility. So that's what we're going to do this week. We're Zooming, we're watching TED Talks, we're building our network. Let me do a quick screen share just to show you where we're at, what we're doing, and how things are going to work. So you're going to see a week 3 on here. And then in week 3, there'll be this video. And I'm going to do the checklist thing again, because I had a bunch of people message me and say, hey, can you do the checklist thing? So when you go to the checklist, remember, it'll ask you to make a copy into your Google Drive. And this is 100% for you. It's not for me. And the final word is what's actually in Moodle. So if this doesn't get updated, now I just made this, so it is updated. But if it isn't, if there's a conflict, let me know, like if something doesn't match. But this is just for your use. You can use this to kind of keep track of what's what. It's got the videos to watch. It's got, all the different stuff on there. All right. So that's pretty helpful. And then here's the issues in social media, and it's a think and a do. So I didn't put it twice, but don't forget, just because it's not in the do, it's a do, which is why I put it in the title. And that will give you, what we're going to do, how I'd like you to proceed with that. There is a week 3 banner. And so what you're going to do in Discord, let me jump over to a team, is you're going to look for that banner, because that banner will tell you that's the post. And we're going to do threads again like we did last week, which was super useful. So when you come here, you can either click on the week 3 pros and cons and post right there. Or if you don't see that on your sidebar for some reason, just on the post, come over and click on the view thread. And that'll pull it up in the sidebar here. I kind of like seeing it full screen a little better, but it works either way. And that's where you're going to make your post like we did last week for the LinkedIn URLs. That seemed to work pretty well. The other thing we're going to do, I'll show you one more thing, and I already made a video on it, so I'm not going to repeat the video. There's a couple of learned things, by the way. This LinkedIn for Students is very, very useful, because a lot of students say, well, I'm a student, I don't really have a lot of work experience. What I'm going to put there, that will help you. That will, and even if you're not a student, that will give you some good ideas. Then how to use hashtags. Like, what's a hashtag? Used to be a pound sign, used to be a number sign, used to be all kinds of stuff. And Twitter came along and almost accidentally invented the hashtag. And now if you're on Instagram, like you can't even post to Instagram unless you've got like 30 hashtags. It's a little bit crazy. Anyhow, the Zoom discussion right here, there's nothing to submit here, but it's got links to those help desk documents, the ones that are also pinned to the top of the Zoom chat channel. It's got expectations, a little bit about the format, pretty much the stuff I just said, and the times. And you'll see that, let me actually bounce over to Discord. You'll see that on the Zoom chat channel. So you just find the time you want and you click the big green check mark, and that's it. It's like super easy. But if there's already 15 people, you might have to find a different time or get on the wait list. But I'd prefer you to find a different time because there's plenty of space for everybody. But that's the early bird gets to pick their time. So that's really good. And a lot of people did. We only have a couple of people that haven't. So this last thing, we're going to build your network, and you're going to give feedback to your classmates. And like I said, I already have a video that I put together about how that works. All right. And so it says review LinkedIn, you're going to build your network. And then what are you going to do? You're going to give feedback to your team. All right. And so there's a video link here that tells you like kind of how that's going to work. And each team has their own doc. You only got to do your team. If you're not sure what team you're on, look over here in Discord, whatever it says, team whatever, and you'll have a role that matches that. And if you find you're not in a team, let me know. Anyhow, just click on your Google Doc. You'll see all the people listed, and you're going to give constructive feedback. You're going to help them make a better page because you want them to help you make a better page. Okay, so that's what we've got on the agenda. It feels like a quiet week compared to the first 2 weeks, and the first 2 weeks are ice fire hoses. And I'm going to get in there. I'm going to start updating grades and stuff. And I can tell you, like, I'd rather talk to students than grade stuff any day of the week. And if you turn stuff in late, it gets graded late. That's just kind of how that works. But people are getting stuff turned in. We had a lot of late start people. We've got, people trying to figure out new technologies. There's all kinds of stuff. So I don't get hung up on grades unless you're absolutely not communicating with me and I have no idea what's going on and you're absolutely not turning stuff in. That's not great. But if you're communicating with me and I know that you're working through stuff and I know where you're getting stuck and we're having conversations on our Discord notes channel, then life is good. I don't really worry about it. So that's what we have going on this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in Zoom.